Ya, toe whaatalofa ma whaafelo i atu I loutou pa ia ma loutou mamalu mai le nei fwoi whaapoponga le tātou po kalama le nei o le Samoa Matters. Welcome once again to this episode of Samoa Matters, and I hope you like and enjoy the videos so far. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. Also remember our slogan, which is, if someone matters to you, then someone matters is for you. Thank you for the views and the comments also. Whawhetai tele lava. Ia atonu o tu fia le upu pito sili on tāua ngana Samoa pe ona tuine atu le tātou ulutala. Ai mai se ai se ilonga suenga ma se au talanga whaale whau ngana ale Samoa Matters lava ia. I'm sure you're curious and excited to know what the most important Samoan word is, at least according to Samoa Matters. Iai te mitatu te whaawasenga nei upo senga ngana ini vaenga pōni whaatulanganga. Upu tāua, important words. Upu pito tāua, very important words. Ia po upu pito sili on a tāua, most important words. And often by using qualifiers, like in this case, the Samoan pito tāua and pito sili on tāua, siriatu on tāua, which are parallels of the comparative and superlative cases in English. In this video, I'm going to present what I personally believe is the most important word in the Samoan language, especially, and this is important, within a specific linguistic paradigm. O lona winga, o se manatu le Samoa Matters lovaia, e winga I le upu pito sili o na tāua. E whaavae I se whainga po o se mamanu o se iloilonga patino, whaalinga ngana. I understand that others may have shared their own important words elsewhere, like the word va or relationship space, but this so-called most important word presented here is based on my own beliefs, knowledge, and intuition. Moreover, this analysis is separate and different from the usual classification and context in which please and thank you are considered the most important words in any language. In Samoan, it's whaamolemole and whawhetai, respectively. Again, that is different from what I'm presenting here. My own so-called most important word is derived or deduced more from the morphological paradigm of specific and related words that share a common root. The basic reasons or grounds for Samoa Matters theory of this most important word, twofold. First is the role of this word in the semantics of the language itself. It forms the root of some very important words in the Samoan language. O le upu pito sili nei ona tāua, o loo avea maaa, pongai tu, inisi upu tāua le ngana Samoa. Second is its role within the culture and how this word describes and explains a certain important attitude, behavior, habit, and characteristic of the Samoans. Olona winga, ole nei upu e na te whaamatali nai foi se winga, tū maanga, a mio po whainga masani tangata Samoa. So put simply, this word describes perhaps one of the most visceral and natural dispositions and attributes of the Samoans, which is mutuality. Leo te whaasamoina ole vā whealoai po ole vā whealoloai. Mutuality is defined as behavior in which two or more people or groups feel the same emotion or do the same or similar thing to or for each other, or the positive interactive relationship between people. And this one, a partnership based on shared respect and understanding. And so that's mutuality, or vā whealoai po ole vā whealoloai. Synonyms of vā whealoai include vā tapuia or ava whatawhata. Vā whealoai, therefore, by the way, that's not the important word, therefore presupposes two or more people or groups of people often facing each other, literally and figuratively. Va, or the relationship space, often articulated playfully, if not humorously, sometimes as between. You may have heard the expression, keu mari between. It means ke ule va, or take care of the between, referring to this shared space. Again, I will analyze va separately in a future video. So I've listed these very important words, and they were not selected randomly or arbitrarily, and not from personal whim either, but for their important roles in the language and within the social cultural identity and customs of the Samoans. Let me go ahead and comment on them. Some of them are very familiar and common words. Whawhala'i is basically mutuality, as I explained earlier. Alofa, of course, is love, and then fa'aloalo, respect. In fact, people often ask what the two pillars of Samoan society are, and they would usually mention these: love and respect, alofa and fa'aloalo. These three words, fa'aloalo and fa'aloalonga, are derivatives of fa'alo. Let me skip down to fa'alo, which is the word for salute. Now, most people pronounce it fa'alo, but the more complete word has fa'alo. And you'll see why in a moment as I explain and comment on these words. So fa'alo is a salute, a gesture of respect, of love, recognition, and acknowledgement, fa'alo. And so fa'aloalonga, these are the in-kind gifts, mostly foodstuffs, and other material goods, especially in the Samoan material culture, things like pine mats, again, foodstuffs, and mostly given in gratuity in exchange for services or donations or contributions, especially during falavilavis, also funerals mostly. Again, fa'aloalonga is a noun because of this GA right here. That's the most consistent noun inflection in the Samoan language. So if you come across Samoan words that end with GA, 99% of the time, it's a noun, again, in the Samoan language. So, whalofani means love and respect each other, basically mutuality, as in whala'i, whawhala'i. Talofa, of course, who doesn't know talofa? But it's more than just a greeting word. Ta is a dual pronoun for ta'ua, but it can also be a plural, more than two in numbers, like tato. But it's mostly used as a dual pronoun for ta'ua. And so this word, the more complete word will be ta'ua alofa. When you say ta'alofa to somebody, you're saying our love. Or I love you, you love me when you greet somebody. We have this shared feeling of love toward another. And that's what ta'alofa. Ta'ua alofa. That's basically what ta'alofa is. So, and then aloia basically means to be accepted and to be respected. And so, again, very common words. Now, if you haven't already seen or noticed by now, the common and shared word in these words, drum roll, keeping this in suspense, it is alo, right? It is alo. So, starting from the top, alo, 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 and of course these three words, alo, whalofani, alo, talofa, and aloia. So that is the most important word in the Samoan language according to Samoa Matters. The role of alo as the root word for all these very important words is like or akin to the role of water as the root and basic ingredient of perhaps the most popular drinks. Pepsi, Coke, Mountain Dew, 7-Up, Orange Fanta, or Dr. Pepper. So all those different drinks, the most important and the basic ingredient is water. And the same is the most important words or drinks, if you will, in Samoan culture, Samoan language. And there's your common basic ingredient, the root word, alo. And so what is alo? By the way, it's pronounced alo, the long vowel sound, not alo with a glottal break, a glottal plosive. So it's alo, fa'alo alo, alofa, ta'alofa, fe'alofani. So alo basically means front, especially for a person, front side or forward. In the context of mutuality and social interactions, it basically means face to face, front to front, or fe'aloai means you front, I face you and you face me, and fe'aloai, it's a dual mutual prefix, fe and aloai. Therefore, alo involves and or entails being respectful, understanding, open, polite, civil, gracious, tolerant, considerate, mannerly. Yeah, that's how deep and profound this word is, alo. Conversely, if I face you and you turn your side or back to me, that's interpreted as being rude, disrespectful, and downright offensive. Now, again, you've heard of these words and kind of take for granted the word that's in most of these common words, and this word, alo. During a CE, again, that's a future video where I will explain what a CE is and all the what it entails. CE, for example, the Tulafale will say his usual speech when he takes a CE for his family. And when they get to the point, or when he gets to the point of presenting their gifts, fine mats, money, etc., he will always preface it by saying, "Ia alomaya," meaning face us, while we show you our love by presenting these gifts to you, to show our alofa and fa'alo alo. The host family would do the same thing, responding to the family bringing their CE, and just before the gifts are presented back to them, their whailaunga or the orator will also say the same thing. Ya alumaya, say come fayak. Face us, we will try and return the favor. Your alofa, fa'alo alo, and alofa. The Samoan culture is one of mutuality and reciprocality. And alo, face to face, is the word that underpins and governs many of the protocols within social occasions, fa'alavelavas, and customs of the people. There are other meanings of alo, but they still originate from this same meaning, the front side of a person. One of those meanings is the polite word for stomach, or manava. And so you would use the word alo in the language of politeness and respect. Relatedly, children being the fruits of a mother's womb, manava, they are referred to as alo, again in the language of respect and politeness, or upu fa'alo alo. For the colloquial, it's whanau for children. The common question, how many children or kids do you have? The colloquial version is e to'afia salua whanau. But in the language of respect, or wha'aloalo, is e to'afia nio olua alo. Now, just a word on this language of respect or language of politeness, never use it on yourself. So when somebody asks you e to'afia nio olua alo, and say that you have two, you would say e to'alua le ma whanau. Never use alo. Don't say e to'alua ma alo. That's a no-no. Right? Now, last but not least, perhaps the most important alo, especially within the religious and Christian context, that is treasured and cherished by the Samoans, and in which these phrases are common. I le suafo le tama, le alo, ma le nganga sa. Or, o le alo e to tasi na whaanaua. And, o le alo, o le atua. All those and others, similar phrases, refer to Christ as the Son of God, or alo, and always spelled with an uppercase A. Now, I guess in this case, context and nuance, many Samoans would believe and agree that it is all the more reason for alo to be the most important Samoan word. Well, we still have our canoe. It hasn't drifted from us. It's okay. We need it for our next alanga upu in this wangangana o alanga upu segment. O tatu alanga upu mo le vaenga nei, e foi e whae e le tau. Our traditional expression for this segment is o se foi e whae e le tau. Literally like a paddle placed on one of the sides of the canoe. Apparently is drawn from canoeing and fishing. Again, the paddle is foi, and tau is any of the four sides of the canoe. Tau mua, tau muri, tau wama, tau matau. Now let's see what the alanga upu, what it means and how it's applied or used. Dive fishing, sometimes called spear fishing, is common among the Samoans. And so while the fisherman is underwater and fishing and the canoe is floating, it matters where the fisherman places or leaves the paddle, the foi. And even if fishing sitting in the canoe, a temporary placement of the foi while concentrating on something like reeling in a fish, the placement of the foi is important, it's critical. And so the most secure place, of course, is in the canoe. Or, as I've seen many times growing up, the fisherman would lay the paddle across over the from the side of the canoe, and this is the ama side now. The handle will be on the side of the canoe, and the blade will be on top of one of these beams here or spars. These are called iato. And the T style, the K style is iako. And same in Hawaiian. The Hawaiians call these beams iako. So those are the two places where the paddle will be placed, either across over onto the iato or inside the hull of the canoe. But a careless fisherman would just sometimes lay the foi on either side, mostly the taumua, the front, the bow, or the taumuri. And where the foi would, of course, teeter, wobble, and eventually fall off. And so the alanga upu meaning is about the precariousness or riskiness of any action or plan. O le winga lana ngā upo I whātau I se fuafuanga po se whātinonga I le matua mautu le lei, mautinoa. E ono whaavatu ia, vai manua, ma le taunu le lei, e peia o le whaatati o le foi lungo, o le tau mua po le tau muli o le va. E luelu ale va e ngalu o le sami, se e ale foi pa ule, I le sami. And this is often used by orators as a reminder that even if an occasion like a wedding was carefully and well planned, there's still a chance that it could fail, or at least not well implemented or carried out. And so the whailaunga, the orator would say, o a tātou fuafuanga e po le aso tātou mae ma se poto, ia wana o se foi lava e whae I le tau. And within the more complete context and application of the expression, it always sounds conditional. And that's why this standard caveat or admonition of the role of God's grace is always mentioned in accompaniment or complement for the expression. Like this. O le mea moni, o le nei lava aso sa whauau whaupo. Ai sa o se foe lava e whae e le tau. Ai taluai, o le whaatasi mai o le tapau i le langi, malona alofa, ia o leo o tau nuu matini le wha moe. Literally, the truth is that this occasion has been planned day and night, and yet was still like a paddle placed on the tau. But with God's grace, it is now finally being realized and accomplished. Now, if you're into euphony, or the pleasing sound and quality of word combinations, as in rhyme or rhyming, which happens to be the favorite poetic device of the Samoans, then this rendition and version would be legit. This is my own though. Wana o se foe e whae e le tau, e pa uatu i le au, ma ta whea i pe au. Like a paddle placed on the tau and falls into the au, which is the ocean current, and drifts over the peau. Waves. Peau, waves. So again, wana o se foe e whae e le tau, e pa uatu i le au, ma ta whea i pe au. If Samoa matters to you, then Samoa Matters is for you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, soy for you.